It's Avatar The Last Airbender pre-release weekend, and the market is coming alive. Get all the details here in this latest edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. This video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now, you can pre-order Avatar The Last Airbender products as well as Lorwyn Eclipse, or find any number of other great items on their website, magic-related or otherwise. Remember, shipping is free in the US if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles. Just look in the description or the comment section below for direct links to their site. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. As I said in the cold open, Avatar The Last Airbender pre-release weekend is here, and the market is coming alive like Peter Frampton right now. In fact, we're going to be looking at the top 15 hot cards and the top 15 cold cards this week instead of our normal 10 of each. As always, our lists are based on two pieces of criteria: the percentage change in the value of the cards as well as the change in the number of sales from week to week. We'll quickly look at the cold cards and then spend a little more time on the cards moving up in price. Before we get started though, just a couple things. I do want to say thank you to a viewer who gave a Super Thanks tip last week, and that is Swampy Boy. Swampy Boy, thank you so much for all your support, for the generous Super Thanks tips, for always stopping by the Sunday streams as well. I appreciate that. And I also want to say thank you to one of our gold patrons, and that is Omar Rodriguez. Omar, thank you for all your support on Patreon. It goes a really, really long way. I truly cannot do it without viewers like yourself. So thank you, Omar. And now, without any further ado, let's get into it. We'll begin with the top 15 coldest cards of the week. Now this week, stores got a restock of several Magic items, including Tarkir Dragonstorm and Final Fantasy products. You'll see in a moment that our list is dominated by cards from the Tarkir Dragonstorm Commander decks. Many key cards from those decks are sliding down in price this week as more copies get into players' hands. Anyway, let's begin with number 15. Peter Parker. This is down $1 to $5 for a 17% decrease. It's a solid card that has been seeing play in regular Commander, 1v1 Dual Commander, and Standard. Lots of Marvel Spider-Man has been open recently though, so it slides down a little this week. Number 14, Canopy Gargantuan, down $1.05 to $4.39. That's a 19% decrease. This is from the Tarkir Dragonstorm Abzan Armor Commander deck, and it is the first victim of the product restock we discussed a moment ago. Number 13, Taval the Balanced Scale, down $1.11 to $5.51. That's a 17% decrease. This is the foil copy from the Tarkir Dragonstorm Sultai Arisen Commander deck. Number 12, Will of the Abzan, down $1.13 to $5.28. That's an 18% decrease. This is another one from the Tarkir Dragonstorm Abzan Armor Commander deck. Number 11, Gold Lust Triad, down $1.14 to $6.86. That's a 14% decrease. This one's from the Tarkir Dragonstorm Mardu Surge Commander deck. Number 10, Colossal Grave Reaver, down $1.41 to $8.08. That's a 15% decrease. This is from the Tarkir Dragonstorm Sultai Arisen Commander deck. Last week, this was number 5 on the hot list. This week it joins the cold list at number 9, Norn's Choirmaster, down $1.61 to $12.37. That's a 12% decrease. This is from the Phyrexia All-Will-Be-One Corrupting Influence Commander deck. It was moving up in price recently since it had been seeing additional commander play and builds around several new cards, including Sensational Spider-Man from the Marvel Spider-Man Spidey Spectacular Showdown Scene Box, as well as Atreus Impulsive Son and Kratos Stoic Father from the Sony PlayStation God of War Norse Secret Lair. However, last week, Norn's Choirmaster jumped again in price because of 5 cards that were previewed from the Avatar The Last Airbender Jumpstart set, which utilized experience counters. We've seen this before though. One week a card spikes aggressively, the next week there's a flood of copies for sale as sellers try to take advantage of the price spike. Demand then begins to become satisfied, leading to some price retraction. A week ago, this was number 1 on the hot list. Last week it arrived on the cold list at number 2, and this week it dropped 6 spots to number 8, Insight Engine, down $1.80 to $7.15. That's a 20% decrease. This is from the Edge of Eternity's Counterintelligence Commander deck. The week before last, this spiked when Ben Bateman made an Instagram reel discussing how Insight Engine can be used as a budget replacement for the One Ring and Blue Commander decks. That reel brought new attention to the card and it spiked aggressively. At the end of the day, this is a budget option, but not a true replacement for the One Ring. Combine that fact with the flood of copies that hit the marketplace over the last 2 weeks, and Insight Engine continues its downward journey. Number 7 is Arena of the Ancients from Chronicles, down $1.90 to $12.09. That's a 14% decrease. This card wasn't seeing much play to speak of, but a few weeks ago, the T-Beard on Instagram shared a reel discussing Arena of the Ancients' potential in Commander. Many players and speculators considered the fact that Universe Beyond sets have been printing a lot of legendary creatures recently, and they decided to grab copies of this. The market quickly dried up and Arena of the Ancients spiked aggressively. Since then, it has seen more play, especially in Commander builds around Kratos God of War from the Sony PlayStation God of War Greek Secret Lair. However, Chronicles was a highly printed set, and it didn't take long before tons of copies hit the marketplace. Over the last few weeks, it has been retracting because of that extra inventory. Now, I typically don't talk about cards from Legends in these videos due to scarcity. It's very difficult to pin down actual prices for scarce cards, but in case you're curious, the Legends copy is still very elevated, however, it's coming down too. This week, it's down $19.97 to $150. That's a 12% decrease. A week ago, this was number 10 on the hot list. Last week, it peaked at number 2. This week, it arrives on the cold list at number 6, Thieving Varmint, down $2.90 to $11.65. That's a 20% decrease. This is from the Outlaws of Thunder Junction Grand Larceny Commander deck. Recently, it had been getting additional Commander play and decks around a couple new cards, causing it to spike. Those cards were Nathan Drake Treasure Hunter from the Sony PlayStation Uncharted Secret Lair, and to a lesser degree, Black Cat Cunning Thief from Marvel Spider-Man. Like several other cards on our cold list this week, though, more copies have hit the marketplace due to the new price points, and now demand is beginning to be satisfied. So, Thieving Varmint slides down some this week. Number 5, Traveling Chocobo, down $3.03 to $22.59. That's a 12% decrease. This has been seeing play since it came out in regular Commander, 1v1 Dual Commander, and even Standard, but as I mentioned earlier, stores got a restock this week of Final Fantasy products. Now this rather pricey card comes down some as more copies enter the marketplace. Number 4, Taval's Judgment, down $3.06 to $11.86. That's a 21% decrease. This is from the Tarkir Dragonstorm Sultai Arisen Commander deck, and it's another card moving down because of this week's product restock. Number 3, Ureni of the Unwritten, down $3.67 to $13.18. That is a 22% decrease. This is the foil copy from the Tarkir Dragonstorm Team Aurora Commander deck. Again, moving down because of the product restock this week. Number 2, Screaming Nemesis, down $3.68 to $17.38. That's an 18% decrease. This is moving down because it was banned in Standard this week. Screaming Nemesis is still seeing play in Pioneer, regular Commander, and 1v1 Dual Commander, but it will have to find its new price point now. And coming in at number 1 is Yawgmoth's Will from Urza's Saga, down $28.75 to $180.73. That's a 14% decrease. This reserve list card tends to move up and down frequently. It jumped again recently, but this week it's retracting. Maybe last week's bump had something to do with the fact that this is in the Magic Arena powered cube, which might have brought some new eyes to it. Regardless though, it still sees play in Vintage, regular Commander, and 1v1 Dual Commander. Alright, on to the main event, the top 15 hottest cards of the week. Let's jump in with number 15, Sanctum of All, up $1.05 to $2.99. That's a 54% increase. This is played in Commander Go Shintai of Life's Origin builds, and sometimes you see it in decks around Marina Vendrell as well. Avatar The Last Airbender is pushing the price of this card now though. There's a ton of shrine support coming, so let's take a look at the cards responsible for Sanctum of All's price increase. First, we have 5 new shrines in the Avatar main set: Southern Air Temple, the Spirit Oasis, Northern Air Temple, Crescent Island Temple, and Kyoshi Island Plaza. Next, there's some cards that support shrines in the main set, like Aang's Journey, Guru Pathic, and White Lotus Hideout. Finally, we have a new shrine commander in the Avatar Jumpstart set, and that's Heibai Forest Guardian. I'm already seeing Sanctum of All appearing in early commander deck lists around this legendary creature. Number 14, Prosper Tomebound, up $1.12 to $9.99. That's a 13% increase. This is the foil copy from the Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms Planar Portal Commander deck. It's still a fairly popular commander and found in the 99 of builds around cards like Omnixilus Captive Kingpin and Yidris Maelstrom Wielder, for example. Now though, some new cards are pushing Prosper's price. First, this is already getting additional commander play in decks around Nathan Drake Treasure Hunter from the Sony PlayStation Uncharted Secret Lair. Secondly, there are several cards in Avatar The Last Airbender products that play well with Prosper Tomebound. The new airbending mechanic allows you to play cards from exile, and there are also several cards that allow you to carry over your mana from phase to phase, which is perfect for Prosper. Here's an example of each of those type of cards from the main set: Apis Steadfast Guardian and Ozai the Phoenix King. Additionally, I'm seeing Prosper Tomebound appearing in commander deck lists around a couple other cards from the main set: Firelord Zuko and Firelord Azula. Number 13, Captain Nagathrod, up $1.39 to $10.69. That's a 15% increase. This is the foil copy from the Dungeons & Dragons Battle for Baldur's Gate Mind Flayers commander deck. And you can stop typing, the captain is a pirate, so the deck is named Mind Flayers, not Mind Flayers. Oh, if I had a nickel. Anyway, this is still a popular commander, and it's in the 99 of builds around Umbrasphere Manifest. Captain Nagathrod has actually just been reprinted in the Iron Maiden Eddie Unchained Secret Lair. So you would think the original would be moving down, and it probably will soon, but sometimes secret layers bring new eyes to a card, resulting in short-term price bumps of existing copies. Number 12, Kinesos, Priest of Thassa, up $1.43 to $6.47. That's a 28% increase. This sees commander play as a commander, or in Gladriel of Lothlorien builds, for example. Now this is getting a push from a new Avatar The Last Airbender card as well. Some commander players are interested in Kinesos because of this card here, Planetarium of Wan Shi Tong from the Avatar main set. Number 11, Oathkeeper, Takino's Daisho, up $1.85 to $9.45. That's a 24% increase. This was getting a little commander play, sometimes in builds around Godo Bandit Warlord or Ishin 2 Heavens as one, for example. Now though, you see it in new commander builds around Jin Sakai Ghost of Tsushima from the Sony PlayStation Ghost of Tsushima Secret Lair. And that's why that one print wonder is moving up now. Quickly before we get to our top 10, just a fast reminder, this video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now, you can pre-order Avatar The Last Airbender products. You can also pre-order Lorwyn Eclipsed currently. Plus, they have a whole lot of other things on their website, magic-related and otherwise. Remember, if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States. And if you're looking for a direct link to their site, just check out the description or the comment section below. I do have links posted in both of those places. And now, without any further ado, let's get to the top 10. Number 10, Aura Thief, the one for the list, up $1.49 to $11.99. That is a 14% increase. The Urza's Destiny copy goes up $2.56 to $11.86. That's a 28% increase. This sometimes appears in Zur Eternal Schemer commander builds, but it's another card moving up because of Avatar The Last Airbender. It would be good tech against the incoming Commander Shrine decks, I suppose, but I'm also seeing some players putting this in early Shrine-based deck lists around Heibai Forest Guardian from the Avatar Jumpstart set. They are also, of course, including the new Shrines and Shrine support cards from the main set we saw earlier. Moving up one spot this week to number 9, Hedron Detonator. This is up $2.58 to $6.99. That's a 59% increase. It had been seeing just a little bit of commander play in builds around Pia Nalar, Council of Revival, and Mr. House President and CEO, for example. Now though, a new Secret Lair card is pushing Hedron Detonator's price. Many players want a copy of this for their new commander builds around Jaws Relentless Predator from the Jaws Terror of Amity Island Secret Lair. Number 8 is Surtur Fiery Jotun, up $3.41 to $11.18. That's a 44% increase. This is from the Assassin's Creed Starter Kit. It was seeing a tad bit of commander play, sometimes in builds around Joda the Unifier, for example. Now though, a partner commander deck led by 2 new cards is pushing Surtur's price. Players want Surtur for their new builds around Atreus Impulsive Son and Kratos Stoic Father from the Sony PlayStation God of War Norse Secret Lair. Number 7 is Tamiyo Inquisitive Student, up $3.53 to $28.92. That is a 14% increase. There's a few reasons this card is hot right now. It is in the Magic Arena Powered Cube, which may have brought some new eyes to it. but it might not need any extra attention to spike since this is seeing a lot of play in multiple formats. Most notably, this is in Modern Tamiyo Belcher. Since that deck came in first at Pro Tour Edge of Eternities, some were waiting to build it until this week's banned and restricted list update came out just in case. Turns out nothing was banned in Modern, so that triggered an increase in demand on several cards like this one. It is typically a 2-of in the sideboard of Belcher. You also see this in other Modern builds too though, like Dimir Midrange, Jeskai Ascendancy Combo, Esper Murktide, Esper Midrange, and Dimir Control. Tamiyo sees Legacy play too in Dimir Tempo, Jeskai Control, Esper Control, Non-Yorian Beanstalk Control, Grixis Control, Stifle Knot, Cephalid Breakfast, and sometimes Omnitel. But does it get vintage play? Oh yeah, it sure does. It's in Stifle Knot and sometimes Doomsday there. Over in 1v1 Dual Commander, you see this in builds around a few different commanders, including Glarp Calamity's Augur and Slogurk the Overslime, for example. Finally, in regular Commander, Tamiyo is used as a commander and can be found in the 99 of decks around a Traxa Praetor's Voice, for example. Plus, there are some new cards coming in Avatar The Last Airbender products that will be good in commander builds around Tamiyo Inquisitive Student too. They are the Mechanist Aerial Artisan, Spirit Water Revival, Wan Shi Tong Librarian, and True Ancestry from the main set, as well as the Cabbage Merchant from the Avatar Jumpstart set. 2 weeks ago, this was number 4 on our list. A week ago, it fell to number 7. Last week, it moved up to 6, and that's where it remains this week. Ashling the Extinguisher up 633 to 2032. That's a 45% increase. It doesn't happen much anymore, but we do have a good streak going. So this is an Eventide rare that has yet to be reprinted. It's time for my one per video. You may know that during this time period in Magic, there was a recession in the game, and less packs of Eventide and some other sets were cracked. Due to the lower supply, some of these cards, especially the rares that have not yet been reprinted, tend to spike when there's some attention on them. So why are people paying attention to this one now? Well, Commander players want this for their builds around Jin Sakai, Ghost of Tsushima from the Sony PlayStation, Ghost of Tsushima Secret Lair. Moving down 2 spots this week to number 5, Cursed Scroll up 1065 to 6073, that's a 21% increase. This reserve list card also happens to be a very highly played pre-modern card. It's found in some big decks there, like Burn, Pit Rack, as well as other rack builds, Mono Black Aggro, and White Weenie, for example. I've said it before, even though Cursed Scroll may have its ups and downs, keep an eye on it. I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to climb over time. Number 4 is Second Chance of 1274 to 1713 for a 290% increase. This reserve list card blew up this week after Ben Bateman made a YouTube video discussing the fact that this is a pretty cheap card that goes infinite with Tamiyo Reality Architect. Tamiyo can be your commander, and as long as you're at 5 or less life and you can pay the mana cost involved, you'll be able to take infinite turns, plus you'll draw a card every time you return Second Chance to your hand. You do have to return a land you control to your hand though, which will landlock you, but that's only a problem if you don't already have enough mana available for your win conditions. And you will need some ways to pay life, so you can get your life total low enough. I really don't believe this combo is as easy to pull off as some may think. Regardless though, players and speculators were scrambling to get copies of Second Chance after the video aired, resulting in the price spike. Coming in at number 3, Kalemni, Disciple of Aroas. The Commander Anthology Volume 2 copy, which only comes in foil, is up 1365 to 1822, that's a 299% increase. And the Commander 2015 copy from the Wade into Battle deck is up 1377 to 1802, that is a 324% increase if you're doing the math at home. This has been in Commander decks around Ruhan of the Fomori on occasion, but now it's finally Kalemni's time to shine. Experience counters are so hot right now thanks to several new cards. First, this is seeing additional Commander play and partner builds around Atreus Impulsive Son and Kratos Stoic Father from the Sony PlayStation God of War Norse Secret Lair. Secondly, 5 cards from the Avatar The Last Airbender Jumpstart set utilize experience counters. They are Aang Airbending Master, Katara Waterbending Master, Azula Ruthless Firebender, Zuko Firebending Master, and Toph Earthbending Master. Many Commander players love this mechanic, and now they're looking to pick up key cards that use experience counters for various Commander builds. Cards like Kalemni, Disciple of Aroas. Moving up 2 spots this week to number 2, Dystopia, up 2173 to 3497, that's a 164% increase. This reserveless card has been getting a good amount of pre-modern play, which is causing copies to dry up and for the price to move up. In fact, the deck that came in first at the pre-modern event at Spanish Nationals a week ago was a mono black build running 3 copies of Dystopia in the sideboard. Dystopia is a key sideboard card for mono black decks in a meta that runs a lot of green and white enchantments. Keep an eye on this one. And finally, coming in at number 1, Null Rod, up $38 to $129.99. That's a 41% increase. This reserveless card gets a lot of play in Legacy and Vintage. It's in a ton of sideboards in Legacy. It appears in decks like Is It Delver, Eldrazi, Dimir Tempo, Ocelot Pride Midrange, Grixis Tempo, and sometimes Red Stompy. Meanwhile, in Vintage, this is found in main decks as well as sideboards of builds like Dimir Lurrus Control, Mono White Initiative, Sphere Shops, Esper Lurrus Control, Scam, and sometimes Oath of Druids, as well as Doomsday. However, Null Rod also sees play in the pre-modern format, and that format has been moving card prices a lot recently. There you can find it at times in sideboards of decks like White Weenie and Containment, for example. Considering Null Rod is a reserveless card, I have no doubt it will continue to climb in price over time simply because of the amount of play it does see. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. I hope you were able to get out to an Avatar of the Last Airbender pre-release this weekend, and hopefully you had a good time and had some success. Tomorrow, I'll be back doing a Powered Cube stream on Magic the Gathering Arena. I hope you can stop by for that. Have your notifications on so you know when I begin. It will probably be late morning, early afternoon tomorrow. Until next time, though, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.